The second of the 1,000-metre dashes here then. Race number 7 on the programme. It's a Class 2 contest headed by New Asia Sunrise. Drops back into Class 2. He's a winner over the trip as well. Our Kipper's always very consistent, whether it's here or Happy Valley. Premier's on a hat-trick bid. Super Turbo. Course and distance for the first time for him. He's a Happy Valley specialist. Mythical Emperor's on a hat-trick. He's switching from the all-weather back to the turf. Penang Hall, first up since June. Big drop in trip for him. Water Divine is first up since March. And Magic Power makes his debut, a 2-time winner in Ireland.
Yeah, no prizes for guessing what Premier will do. He likes to front run. I think this particular afternoon at Shartin will be no different. CJ's got plenty of gate speed. Mythical Emperor I find interesting as well, given he's got such a light weight. His draw's not ideal, but he's a real jump and go type too, so they shouldn't be mucking around here.
Hasn't had a race for 6 weeks, Premier. He's had a couple of trials since his last start victory. Of course, he's won both starts, but he's moving along nicely in the morning, and looks like the little freshen up's done him the world of good. Expect a big run from him. He's just improved every time he's gone to the track. Mythical Emperor's flying at the moment with his last 2 victories. But this is a different race for him over the straight 1,000, but he certainly hasn't regressed in the morning, as you can see. You brush your hair in his coat, John. He's shining. Water Divine is the interesting runner in the race. Now, he's had an arthroscopy to the right carpus, which is some type of knee surgery. It was obviously reasonably harsh because it was back in April, so it's taken some time for him to overcome. We know knee injuries in humans obviously take a long time to get over, so he's had a fair time away from the track. I get the feeling he's going to probably take a run because he's 30 pounds heavier than normal. All
right, we'll look out for him then. Let's start off with a run over the 1,200 metres. This is our Kippers at Happy Valley. Got a long way back as he does. Flashed home. Couldn't quite pick up Born in China. Yep,
our Kippers, that's his general running style. Super Turbo is interesting as well. He was a little bit heavy for this. I quite fancied him. He didn't run particularly well in the end, but I don't see why he can't improve on that. And House of Fun, this was a better run than first up this season. And Born in China, well, he's clearly going extremely well, so it's probably pretty solid form.
Yep. Archippus always runs well. He's a good, honest horse. I'm going to make Super Turbo my long shot because he's never tried the straight 1,000. I'm like a bit like John. I think he needed that run. There'll be a lot of pace here, and he might be an interesting runner at a price.
Right. OK. Our Kippers features here as well, behind Premier, but again, we're at Happy Valley. CJ and Blocker D in behind.
Yeah, Premier, he's had a fantastic career, really, in Hong Kong, in fairness to him, and this season has started really well. He's got gate speed to burn, and he'll be difficult to peg back, and Born in China finishing second there has obviously franked the form. Yeah, and you can see our Kippers as well. He's got a very good record over the 1,000 metres, either here or at Happy Valley, staying on well again.
I think the only thing against Premier is the 1,000 at the Valleys is a softer 1,000 as opposed to the 1,000 at Shartin, so I think that potentially gives horses like Archippus and so forth a better chance of overhauling him, but he's going to take all the catching again. And
our Kippers can't draw a gate either. He draws low on the straight, he draws high on the turn. Anyway, let's stick with Premier and his jockey, Karis Teaton.
Premier Karis looked like a nice horse last season, but has he gone to a new level this season?
Yeah, you know, he has 2 runs this season and 2 wins. I've tried him a few times, and the horse seems healthy and well again.
He's pretty fresh going into this race. Is that an advantage for him too?
Yes, I think so. You know, he's had a good few trials. For me, he's improving all the time. Of course, in those 1,000 metres, if you're a bit fresh, should be good. So I think it's a good race for him. He's won over 1,000 a few times, so let's hope he goes there and try again.
All right, so he's the one to beat. He'll be favourites. Premier from Barrier 5 on a hat-trick. Mythical Emperor, though, certainly a bit of interest. We've seen this replay already looking at other horses, but he's one on the turf, he's one on the all-weather. Back to turf at a drop-in trip.
Yes, but he's got in his comfort zone, Andrew, when he's won, and that's being able to find the lead and race on his own. He's not going to get that here over the straight 1,000. He'll be up on the pace, but he's going to have horses around him. He's not going to be 2 or 3 lengths in front of Premier and feeling comfortable. That worries me.
I think you go all right. I've got him in there as my long shot for the meeting. I haven't got him on top, but I think the light racing weight, so that £7 coming off, he'll just be able, if he's not absolutely leading the race, he'll just be behind the speed, and I think he'll go well.
I wouldn't put you off him. He does go up in class as well, so it's another thing to keep in mind. But with or against the favourite?
He's the one to beat Premier. I'm going to take a little chance here with Super Turbo. We've got to find a long shot somewhere, and I think he might be a long shot's price. His work's been good leading in. I think he's a lot better after that first up run. And trying this course and distance for the first time with a £7 claim and a good barrier, Barrier 12, a lot of pace. If he can do what he does at the Valley, here at Sha Tin over 1,000, he can run over these. That's the big question. I'll take a chance that he can at a price. Premier, House of Fun, and Archipus, 6-3-4-2.
I want to go with Premier on top. I was a bit concerned as well about the straight 1,000 at the start of the season, but then he won very convincingly there, so hopefully he'll do the same. Mythical Emperor, I think, will run well. Very light racing weight. He's a sort of point and run job. House of Fun, I think he'll go well in there for third. And Penang Hall, he's a funny horse in the sense that he's got plenty of 1,600 metre form, but his form down the straight 1,000 is pretty good, and I think fresh up, he might give you a decent run for your money at quite a big price. But each way, Mythical Emperor in the race for me.